this portion of our concert, this is our 4th grade. They will be performing the piece, Follow the Drinking Gourd, for you. In social studies class, they were learning about the Underground Railroad, and so we like to incorporate social studies in music and try to talk about how music then relates to the world events or their country's events. And so we were talking in music class songs that were used during that time to convey messages. And so one of them with the Underground Railroad is Follow the Drinking Gourd. They really loved it. They wanted to do this for you. They were very excited about this song. So we are going to sing this for you. We added instruments to it. Some of the instruments were the rhythms that they came up with, or some of it was even student-led. Like they thought this would sound really cool here, and so they added it in. So a lot of this is what they conceived this song to be. And then we also are going to be reading a book that goes along with this song, if the projector will go on. Okay. So, without further ado, yes, this is Follow the Drinking Gourd.
Long ago, before the Civil War, there's an old sailor called Peg-Leg Joe, who did what he could to help free the slaves. Joe had a plan. He'd use a hammer, nail, and saw and work for the master, the man who owned the slaves on the cotton plantation. Joe had a plan. At night, when work was done, he would teach the slaves a song that secretly told the way to freedom. Just follow the drinking gourd.
When the song was learned and sung all day, Peg-Leg Joe would slip away to work for another master and teach the song again.
One day, a slave called Molly saw her man James sold to another master. James would be taken away, their family torn apart, just one more night together. A quail called in the trees that night. Molly and James remembered Joe's song. They sang it loud. They looked to the sky and saw the stars. Taking their little son Isaiah and old Hattie and their grandson George, Molly and James set out for the freedom that very night. Following the stars of the drinking gourd, they ran all night through the fields until they crossed the stream to the woods.
When daylight came, they hid in the trees, watching and listening for the master's hounds set loose to find them. But the dogs lost the runaway scent at the stream, and Molly and James and Isaiah, old Hattie and young George were not found. They all hid in the woods. At night they walked again, singing Joe's song and looking for the signs that marked the trail. Walking by night, sleeping by day. For weeks they traveled on, sometimes berries to pick and corn to snatch, sometimes fish to catch, sometimes empty bellies to sleep on, sometimes no stars to guide the way.
farm found them. In a bag of feed for the hogs in the wood, he would bring bacon and cornbread to share, singing low they traveled on.
Starry sky, Joe rode them across the Ohio River. He told them of hiding places where they would be safe. A path of houses stretched like a train on a secret track leading to North Canada. He called it the Underground Railroad. It carried riders to freedom.
The first safe house stood on the hill. The lamp was lit, which meant it was safe to come. Ragged and weary, they waited while Joe signaled low with a hoot like an owl. Then the door opened wide to welcome the freedom travelers. They were rushed through the house to the barn, for the farmers knew there were slave catchers near. A trap door in the floor took them under the barn to hide until it was safe to move on. Then Peg-Leg Joe went back to the river to meet others who followed the drinking.
Danger still near, too close for ease, the farmer sent the 5 travelers on. He drew a map that showed the way north on a midnight road to the next safe house, just over 2 hills. This time, James called the signal, a hoot like an owl, that opened the door to a Quaker farm. The travelers were led to a secret room hidden behind shelves. They rested here for many days and healed their wounds. Soft beds, full meals, new clothes, hot baths, washed away some fear and pain. Isaiah smiled. When they were strong, they traveled again from house to house on the underground trail, still following the drinking gourd north. Sometimes they traveled on foot, sometimes by cart. The wagon they rode near their journey's end carried fruit to market in the railways to feed them.
At last they came to the shores of Lake Erie. Molly and James and Isaiah, old Hattie and young George, climbed aboard the steamship that would carry them across to Canada to freedom. 5 more souls safe, old Hattie cried. The sun shone bright when they stepped on land. They had followed the drinking gourd.